strike, well done. Head! Rosa, what part are you on now? Just in this grid. So, put the oranges on for me, please. Huh? Five in the middle. Yeah, come on, defenders. That'll do, well done. Well done, very good. Yes, Luke. Lovely strike. Head! Come on. Moving back and forwards. Oranges, you can play together. Yes, Luke. Let's get it back in, okay? Lovely. Great strike. Yes, Luke. Come to the ball.
So I think we're right. I'll ask if, yeah, thank you. Like the underwrap stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you. Silly! Forward! Couple of opportunities to play forward if you can. Round the corner. Yeah, man.
I think the underwrap is down there.
Ball's coming up to you. Heels. Hold on. Get hold of it. Okay?
Oh, nice.
Take a little time.
No, they wouldn't, no. They love a bit of underwrap than football.
Ready, Harry? Go on.
It's easy with rugby players, just straight on.
Yes!
Do you?
Silly!
Place, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, because like these stretchy EAB stuff just gets tighter and tighter, so...
How easy is that? Yes! Yes, no. Just. Right side! Oi! Come on. Perfect. Turn again. Son! Here. Hey, set. Let's go. Brad, do you want anything else before the kick-off? Yeah.
Harry, come on in. That's it. Again. Shoulder. Go. Good. Yes, that. Ready, Jovan? Go. Play the ball in. Move the ball nice and quick. Come to a finish. Do a second ball to a finish. Okay, Joe. Now put it wide. And get in for a finish. Keel. Sows and Joe. Yeah, in the box. Across. Get to the right first. Ready? Come on, move. Don't stand still. Come on, move. Play. Good. Play. Let's go. Nice shot. On it, 2 shots. Good. 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 You got finish. Good. There you go. Good. Yes, Joe. Yes, Joe. Go finish, Joe. Finish that. Good. Yes, D. Here we go. Yes, Alex. Here we go. In the box. Leave it, Joe. Leave it, Joe. Good. Leave it. Leave it. You free.
And again, get up behind it.
My bad. Yeah, just leave the cross. Sorry, lads. Just leave the cross. Go. 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 Yep. Joe, sorry, leave the cross one. Ready? Got it, move? Yes. Good. Let's go. Good. Quick, let's go. Good. Good. Let's go quick. Fine. Play quick. Good. Good. Yes, Kenya. Well done. Yes, Sows. Yes, Sows. Go finish. Stop. Good. Yes. Good. Defend it. Sows. Good. Good, Aaron. Good, Aaron. Good. Let's go. Yes, boys. Yes, boys. Ready. 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 Go. Go. Mix it up. Good. Good. Go, Hayes. Good. Let's get us. Talk. Organise. Good. Yes, a kill. Yes, a kill. Don't finish. That's it. Good. Good. Yes, here we go. That's it. Yes, not some more slows. 2 more, please.
Yes, mate.
Well done. Ready, H. Get to life. Yes, Sam. Go. Yes, straight. Kill. Play. We go. Play. Good. Move. Move. Good. 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 There you go. Yes, you kill. 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 Don't score, son. Don't score. Good. Yes, freeze. Good. Good.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3.
Go on, pants on, boots on, let's go. Well done, boys. Let's go. Good lad. Yes, well, let's go. Good lad. Yes, boys, yes, come to.
You want to be behind me.
Yes. Kill. Good lad. Let's go. Good. Let's go. Let's go. Get ready. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, D Birds. Breathing D Nelson. Let's go, Joe. Good lad. Good lad.
Fucking will early. Fucking we're already out. 7 minutes.
Well, you should, yeah.
Right,
Yes, boys.
lads.
Pants on,
Make
mate.
your way
Come
over
in.
to
Touch
that
on.
corner, please.
Hey, come in here one second.
Alright. Guys, just make your way over to that corner for me. I'm checking
Come
when
in
you're all
right now.
lined
Come
up.
in right now, Jeff. Thanks. Just come in 1 second. Aaron, yeah? Yes, Joe. Come on, quick.
Check you as I go round. Okay. So alright, take the line. Undershorts.
Yes, Joe. Come on.
It's fine, mate. It's fine. Socks are all good.
Yes, sir. Yes, Joe.
Just the undershorts, please, guys.
Yes, boys, listen, real careful. Enjoy it, okay? Work really, really hard. Move the ball. Listen, Sosa, pass the ball. Pass the ball. But listen, the first 5-10 minutes,
Just the undershorts.
just like ball, be behind a few times. You have to do that to get them off you to chase. Other than that, enjoy it, work really, really hard. Make sure you compete, make sure you fight. Let's go. Let's go.
Lead
Lead them out, lead them out, lead them out. Let's go.
If you line up kind of behind the fence, they should be on their way over. Thanks, mate. They're just making their way over there. And on you, we have to say, what we do playing up in the back, he doesn't bounce out. One of them ones. Right, okay, just got one more. Right, guys, let's go. Probably double press. Well, go to this one. I know, mate. I know. Don't close it down. Keep them outside the line. It wasn't my choice either. But... They all go. Put my boots in there, sir. Yeah. Inside of this bag? Balls? What's this? Where's my balls? Is that it? We've got balls. Yeah, you're taking it in.
Good evening and welcome to live coverage of Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Bromwich Albion in the Premier League 2. Shannon Ruth's side have made waves this season with fantastic progress in cup competitions, but now as the season winds down, it's full focus on league affairs and finishing the PL2 campaign as positively as possible. Tonight, they take on a West Brom side who come to Lancing attempting to make it 3 unbeaten in the league after a recent upturn in form. Lancing has been a fortress this season for the Seagulls, and they will be hoping it serves them well again as they look to get back to winning ways on home soil. Let's have a look at the lineups then for both sides, starting with Brighton and Hove Albion. Shannon Ruth makes 4 changes from the side that drew 1-1 with Sunderland. Barrington, Robertson, Nilsson and Cahill make way. Stephen Hall comes in for his Seagulls debut between the sticks, while Mullins, McConville and Bailey Smith all return to the starting 11. And for Richard Beale, he elects to make 4 changes from his side's own 1-1 draw at Southampton. Also coming in between the sticks as Ben Cisse departs for Bradley Foster. Elsewhere, Phillips, Mfwamba, Love and Bostock all depart to make room for Jovan Malcolm, Essio Sassoul, Matthew Richards and Akil Higgins. A crisp, chill evening in the shadow of the South Downs at the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. The referee for today, Aji Ajibola, meets in the middle with the two skippers, Rory McConville and Reece Hall from their respective sides. Aji Ajibola assisted tonight by Valentine Inekwe and Alex Mattison. The fourth official between Shannon Ruth and Richard Beale is Daniel D'Urso. Well, I mentioned Lancing being a fortress this season. The Seagulls have been a real force here, unbeaten on 6 attempts. Their last 6 attempts in league competition at the stadium after losing on the opening day to Leeds United. And in all competitions, it has been 14 games since the Seagulls lost a home fixture. It will be Brighton and Hove Albion in the blue and white to get us underway in the centre circle. 5 games left in this PL2 campaign. Full focus now on league action. Exit from 4 separate competitions will have stung Shannon Ruth, but full steam ahead to try and finish this season as high up the table as possible. Off to Joe Knight, and we're underway in Lancing. Lee Kavanagh settles it at the heart of what is a Brighton Hove Albion back 3, certainly for the moment this evening. Chased by Jacob Slater up the left-hand side. Kavanagh urging Atom forwards. Back to Lee Kavanagh. Now Jamie Mullins, first chance to have a run at West Bromwich Albion. Bailey Smith has done well to keep that in play. Up behind for a Baggies goal kick. And 2 sides in virtually identical form coming into this one. Both have taken 7 points from their last 5 games. Albion had the much stronger start to the campaign, but it steadied out for the Seagulls, that in large part due to the pile-up of fixtures with all those cup competitions they were advancing in. Nodded away by Rory McConville. Diago Nelson to take the resulting throw for West Brom. Cut out by Higgins. Now Malcolm. Fenton Hurd. Forward from Reece Hall, back to Hurd on the swivel. Now Latham cuts it out for the Seagulls. Breaking up that left-hand side is Caelan Vickers, scored his first Seagulls goal last time out versus Sunderland. January arriving from Reading. Here is Rory McConville. Seagulls happy just to tempt the Baggies onto them for now. And leading the press is Sewell. McConville now over halfway. Bailey Smith. Kavanagh back to Rory McConville, Northern Ireland Youth International. Still West Bromwich Albion happy to let the Seagulls keep possession around that back 3, all the way back to Stephen Hall. Big night for him tonight, making his Brighton and Hove Albion debut for any side. Moved to the Sussex coast from Adelaide in Australia. McConville to Smith. Mullins back towards Bailey Smith. Across comes Diago Nelson. That'll be a fascinating battle today. We know how quick Bailey Smith is, and Diago Nelson can really fly for West Bromwich Albion as well. Kamari Doyle, another January arrival from Southampton. Vickers worked nicely out to the left-hand side. Early crosses smashed clear. Good strength from Noel Atom.
Get up, get up.
Jamie, really good. Kamari, well done.
Joseph, don't let this first pass beat you. Good.
Joe Knight.
Good, there you go.
First season really playing with the 21s for Joe Knight. Long association with the Albion Academy. Stephen Hall. Knight to Kavanagh. Cleverly done to find Kamari Doyle, who wins a free kick. For a moment there, the Baggies thought they were in. Kamari Doyle just drawing contact, 20 yards from his own goal. Kavanagh breaking lines well to find Doyle. Wide to Bailey Smith. Touch takes him into space and he's charged into. Legally so in the eyes of the referee. Whitwell. No space for him up the line. Kamari Doyle taking over, and that's niftily done by Kamari Doyle. Space on the right to cross. Now Jamie Mullins looking for a half yard and driven right across the face of goal. Slater can't keep it in play. There's clever work by Kamari Doyle to skip up the line initially. Reversed it back to Jamie Mullins. Angle was always against the Irishman. West Bromwich Albion throw to be taken by Alex Williams. Straight to a blue and white shirt.
Get up.
Brighton and Hove Albion seizing control of possession in these opening 6 minutes. Looking for a little bit of a reset. Has been 3 games without a win for Shannon Ruth's side. Team that's enjoyed plenty of success in the Cup this season. Sitting in 8th out of the 26 teams in the Premier League 2. More heavy pressure on Doyle. Smith has his pocket picked by Diago Nelson. Matthew Richards. Whitwell. Back to Bradley Foster. Wayward from Foster. Brighton and Hove Albion throw. Noel Atom again. Knight. Caught under the feet of Atom, but he's still able to sneak a pass to Caelan Vickers. Searching ball over the top, which Louis Flower will give chase to. Kavanagh. Charge down. Brighton and Hove Albion with a throw just in front of manager Shannon Ruth. Speaking ahead of this game, Shannon Ruth has talked about the importance of not letting this season fade out. There is, of course, an updated format to the Premier League 2 for those not familiar. At the end of the season, the top 16 teams will enter a very American-esque single elimination knockout tournament where you finish determines your seeding for that tournament. That's what the Albion are playing for. They'd be slap bang in the middle of it if the season was to end tonight, with them in 8th. Smith, lovely shift of his body weight past Nelson. Lee Kavanagh started most of the Albion trips forward so far this evening. Knight able to scamper back and recover the ball. Hold to Kavanagh again. Launched over the top for Jamie Mullins. Bradley Foster fires it back right where it came from. Kavanagh. Eyes for Bailey Smith. Nodded away by Diago Nelson. Throwing one by Jovan Malcolm. Backward by Malcolm. Mullins wins it back. Akil Higgins felt there was a tug on his shoulder there. Referee Aji Ajibola says play on. Stephen Hall just waiting for options to present themselves ahead of him. Kavanagh. Right back to the Baggies. Flower battling for it. Atom gets a toe in. And Slater can't keep it in play. Down the line, Whitwell. Clever touch off the thigh. Seen out of play by Atom. In the opening 10 minutes, it seems West Brom are content to let the Seagulls have the ball at the back, wait for their moment to strike, wait for possession to present itself. Rory McConville. Kavanagh. Hall to Knight. Dangerous pass. Whitwell spinning and chipping one over the bar as Higgins. First real sighter for West Bromwich Albion. Higgins able to turn inside the penalty area, but got right underneath it, clipped it over the top of the crossbar. Not the contact that was required. Noel Atom looking for Flower. Lee Kavanagh. Cries of patience from the Seagulls dugout. They will stick religiously to these passing principles. Knight. Back to Hall. Blocked by Whitwell. Chasing his own touch to the byline. Whitwell trying to turn past Flower. Kamari Doyle came across on the cover. Diago Nelson to take the throw. Been described as one of the quickest players in the PL2. Coaches rave about his ability to fly up that left flank. Throw left something to be desired there by Diago Nelson. McConville checking inside. Hall under pressure. Coolly done. Vickers helps it to Slater. Angles a pass into the channel. And now Louis Flower could be away up the left. Slater again. Got the wrong side of his man. Went down. No free kick. And that one will go the way of West Bromwich Albion. Charge in the back by Noel Atom. Still yet to see either goalkeeper tested as we tick towards the quarter of an hour mark. Brighton Hove Albion 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Watching My Albion TV. Premier League 2 action. Louis Flower. Won it high for the Seagulls. Kavanagh. Mullins into Flower, beautifully done, and Flower could be away. Flower rolled into the corner, and the Seagulls take the lead. It's the combination of Mullins and Flower which unlocks the door. Flower came short to collect the ball, popped it back to Jamie Mullins, spun in behind, and had the finish to match the movement. It was Harper Bailey that was sucked in by Louis Flower's run to feet, and it was Harper Bailey that couldn't catch Flower on the turn, who rolled it into the corner to make it Brighton and Hove Albion 1, West Bromwich Albion 0 at Lancing. It was patient, but it was purposeful from the Seagulls early on, and they increased the tempo, just ratcheted up a few knots. And it was that quick vertical pass from Lee Kavanagh which caught West Bromwich Albion out. Baggies had seemed fairly comfortable in the opening quarter of an hour, but a nice layoff from Flower and a lovely turn in behind has given the Seagulls the lead. Thiago Nelson trying to snake his way past challenges. Mullins. Kavanagh. Another long ball from Lee Kavanagh. Mullins registered the assist for that first goal, assist number 3 in this PL2 season for the former Bohemians attacking midfielder. Kavanagh, another brilliant ball from Lee Kavanagh, who's really finding his range. Albion free kick on halfway after a foul on Flower. A goal you feel that Shannon Ruth will be absolutely delighted with, not just the taking of the lead, but the way in which the Seagulls took the lead. They'd been so patient. Just started to shift that West Bromwich Albion back line around. Eventually got their reward. Kamari Doyle seizes upon it in midfield. Akil Higgins bearing down on that Albion back line. Cut out by Lee Kavanagh. Driven wide by Hall. Another neat layoff from Flower. Vickers. Sold Slater slightly short there. Kavanagh again for Flower to chase. Bailey Smith to take the throw. McConville back to Kavanagh. Another talent plucked from the League of Ireland, where he played for Bray Wanderers. Mullins. Now Doyle. Lifted over the top for Vickers. Hunting down Reece Hall. Swept away by Hall. Doyle. Stephen Hall into the middle of the park. Mullins loses out to Whitwell. Chipped forward to the feet of Sewell. Nifty footwork from Sewell initially. Laid off to Higgins. Now Malcolm. Lovely turn by Malcolm. He's still going into the penalty area, but just ran out of room. McConville timed the challenge well. Slater, again looking for Flower, trying to stretch that back three. Pull those wide centre-backs into the channel one-on-one. He's done that well thus far, Louis Flower. Been a good platform for the Seagulls to build off. He's in good goal scoring form himself. That was goal number 6 of this PL2 season, after the assist from Mullins. Stephen Hall. Kamari Doyle cleaning up. Lifted forward by Mullins again. Bounces awkwardly for Bailey Smith and out of play. Joe Knight. Doyle. Back to Knight. Caelan Vickers. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Vickers onto his right and just lifted it over the top of the crossbar. The intent was there from Caelan Vickers, fresh off that first Seagulls goal. Able to swivel on it in the middle of the park, but the finish didn't match the turn. Whitwell. Nelson forced back to Bradley Foster. Oldest player out there today at 22 is the West Brom goalkeeper. Joe Knight came and didn't get there, and Whitwell might have released Sewell up the other end. Sewell is past Stephen Hall, who brought him down, and it will be a West Brom penalty. Fantastic ball in behind to release Esiosa Sewell. Galloped away from the Albion back line. Yellow card the way of the Albion keeper. Kavanagh caught for pace. Sewell took a good touch around the Australian, who brought him down just outside the penalty spot, and it will be that penalty spot which gives West Bromwich Albion a chance to equalise. Well, the chance to be a hero on debut inside the opening 25 minutes here for Stephen Hall of Brighton and Hove Albion. He's up against Jovan Malcolm, a player that scored for the Baggies senior side this season in the FA Cup. Up steps Malcolm, and it's on as even again. Driven down the middle, and West Bromwich Albion find an almost instant response. Confidently taken penalty off the right boot of Jovan Malcolm. Hall dove early, and Malcolm put it with his right boot, just right of centre. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. 23 minutes gone in Lancing. It was the direct approach for West Brom, curled in behind, split the centre-backs. It was a beautiful pass. And when Stephen Hall brought down Esiosa Sewell, it gave Malcolm the chance from the penalty spot. Here goes the goal scorer again. Kamari Doyle. Vickers. Wind in the Baggies' sails at the moment. Malcolm standing up McConville. Nelson on the overlap. And Smith does enough. Outstanding covering from the Albion's winger, not only getting across but playing it off Nelson. In fact, it's gone the way of West Brom, and that will give Fenton Hurd a chance to deliver from the corner. Work to do defensively for Brighton and Hove Albion again. Fenton Hurd to take a set piece. Navy blue shirts gathering at the back of Stephen Hall's penalty area. Floated towards the back post. McConville wins the first header. Another corner coming up. Leapt above the crowd there, Rory McConville. Can only divert it over the top of his own crossbar. Keel Higgins weight short. Another in-swinger from Hurd into the 6-yard box. Hall gets a good strong hand on it. Doyle looking for Flower. Cut out by Williams, who slipped on halfway. Mullins to Smith. Albion counter is on here. Bailey Smith, round a challenge. Hung up towards the back post, where it's headed right into the arms of Bradley Foster by Jacob Slater. Looking for that first PL2 goal there, Slater. Had to generate all the power on the header himself. It was a dinked ball towards the back post by Smith and couldn't quite crane those neck muscles to test Bradley Foster. 25 minutes gone. Still Seagulls 1, Baggies 1 in Lancing.
Clear.
Lee Kavanagh was his ball forward. Led to the first goal in today's game. And Bailey Smith's got the wrong side of Nelson there. Offside flag arrives late on this near side.
So, Matt. Az, Reese. The only one to watch for is the long one. So tight but ready on the spin. Good lad, Matt. Aaron, if you're ready on the spin, good lad. Let him dig.
7 White, listen, leave the ball alone next time. Don't touch it.
Bailey Smith just getting a talking to for kicking the ball away. West Brom to take the resulting free kick. Long from Matt Richards. Nodded clear by McConville. Smith can't keep it in play. Nelson with another throw. Good movement from Keel Higgins. And Smith concedes another throw. Nelson to take. Seen buoyed by that equaliser, West Bromwich Albion. Thrown into Keel Higgins. Whitwell to Richards. Lovely diagonal from Bradley Foster. Williams onto it. That was fantastic from the Baggies keeper. Malcolm. Reese Hall shifting into gear. Malcolm again. Vickers bringing it away to Kamari Doyle. Game just opening up over the last 5 minutes or so. Doyle's ball was behind Caelan Vickers. Kavanagh to Knight. Flower. One back by Bailey Smith. Charged into there, Smith, and throwing goes the way of West Bromwich Albion. And a season of great development for Bailey Smith. Spent some of it on loan with a former academy graduate of the Seagulls in Adam Hinshelwood at National League Southside Worthing. 21 appearances he made for the Rebels along the coast under the tutelage of the now departed Adam Hinshelwood. Father, of course, of Seagulls first team player Jack. He's been speaking about how beneficial that time in senior football was to his development, even in the 6th tier of the English game. McConville. Whitwell's kept it in play, neatly done by Whitwell. Joe Knight comes across to meet him. Another West Bromwich Albion corner kick. Again from that left-hand side, their third of the game thus far.
Let's go, lock up. Do you get your breather in here? On you. Organise, Aaron. Joe, which one are you doing? 1 to 2. Yes, Harry, coming to you, Harry.
Again, Akil Higgins just offering short. Last two deliveries have gone deep towards that back post area. In towards Stephen Hall again, and nodding it over the top of the crossbar. West Brom was Jovan Malcolm. Really should have done better there, Malcolm, searching for a second of the game. Planted right onto his head from that corner kick. Just couldn't get over the top of the ball. McConville. Now it's Kavanagh. Not only with the ball, without the ball, that Seagulls goal really seemed to wake West Brom up. Greater intensity about the way they're shepherding the Seagulls into a corner. Slater. Up to Flower. Brighton and Hove Albion can't make it stick. Now Whitwell, left-footed effort, just always drifting away from goal. Mazy run from Whitwell through the middle. Most of what West Brom have done well has come through Harry Whitwell. Really turned on the afterburners. There was the space to shoot, right decision, wrong finish. Smith again. Mullins hunting down Nelson. One back by the Albion high. It's Mullins into the penalty area, past the challenge, and beats Foster at the near post. Fantastic work from Jamie Mullins. He created the first, he scored the second. The pressure to win it high, the footwork to open the angle, and the finish coolly tucked under Foster at the near post. Nelson never looks comfortable facing his own goal. Flower and Mullins combined to pinch it back. And from there, Mullins squeezed it in past the outstretched arms of Bradley Foster. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Half an hour gone in Lancing. Number 5 on the season for Jamie Mullins. The angle looked too tight. Wasn't quite sure until the net bulged, so that had beaten Foster successfully. But Mullins able to tuck it under. The English goalkeeper put the Albion back in front. Fired forward from the restart. Albion goal kick, Stephen Hall to take. Dinked over the top of the pressure, but not quite enough on it from Stephen Hall. Richards. Now it's Whitwell. Toe towards Higgins. Congested in around that penalty area. And Nelson hurried in his attempt to fire it up the line. Mullins. McConville. Cut out. Now Higgins. It's Akil Higgins. It's saved brilliantly by Stephen Hall. Leaping to his left to keep it out. Another good chance for West Brom. Higgins from 20 yards trying to pick out that bottom right, and Hall doing just enough to tip it round the post. Fenton Hurd across to take the set piece. Hasn't been too involved in open play as the Baggies number 10, but has had 4 corner kicks to try and pick out a navy blue shirt. There was a let-off for the Seagulls from the last one. What can he come up with here? Short to Higgins. Lofted in by Hurd at the second attempt, and Whitwell was at the back post. Couldn't meet it cleanly. It's been given as another Baggies corner. Inventive set-piece routine, back-heeled back to Fenton Hurd, who curled it with the outside of his right boot towards that back post area. And Whitwell looked to have skimmed that wide. It has been given as another Baggies corner kick, so perhaps not making contact at all there, Harry Whitwell. 10 to go till half-time. In from Hurd again, this time at the near post. Malcolm. Past Knight, but not past the challenge of Caelan Vickers. Will be pulled back for an earlier foul. Well, it was a really cagey opening exchanges to this game. Sides feeling each other out. West Brom content with allowing the Seagulls possession, but since the first Albion goal through Louis Flower, it's really opened up. Fascinating spectacle over the last 20 minutes or so. And it's West Brom in the ascendancy again. Fenton Hurd to take. Been with the Baggies since he was 7 years old. Clipped towards that back post. Arriving was Whitwell, and stooping to meet it was Lee Kavanagh. Another chance for her to deliver, this time from the right. Jet black Sussex sky, the backdrop for this one at Lancing. Navy blue shirts buzzing around that penalty area. Outswinger from Hurd. Mullins to Vickers. Now Alex Williams. Good intensity from Brighton and Hove Albion to force West Brom away from goal. Another confident run from Whitwell. Mullins, that's sublime from Jamie Mullins, and was pulled back on halfway. That was magic from Jamie Mullins in the centre circle. A roulette to beat a couple of West Bromwich Albion challenges. It sees Matt Richards go into the book. Sensational spin. Might even have run between the legs of Matt Richards. And the tug back was all he could do. A glimpse there into the quality of Jamie Mullins. Former teammate of Evan Ferguson at Bohemians, where he made 32 first-team appearances, 17 coming in the League of Ireland. That conveyor belt of Irish talent still going strong in the ranks of the Albion Academy. Here's Lee Kavanagh. In the pick of the bunch for the Seagulls, really. Him and Jamie Mullins in this first half.
Yes.
Rory McConville. Back to Lee Kavanagh again. One of the goal scorers in that memorable Amex victory over Celtic for Shannon Ruth's side. Joe Knight. Now Keel Higgins. Off to the races. Malcolm. Looking for the half yard. Arriving on the edge of the area is Hurd, and it's into the arms, or the chest rather, of Stephen Hall. Again, most of those chances for West Brom have come in and around the edge of the penalty area. Not really found a way through that Brighton and Hove Albion back three. But more than happy to take shots in front of it. Hall not tested that time. Nelson. Noel Latten. Knight. Kavanagh popped back to the feet of Noel Latten. Summer arrival, where he joined the Seagulls from the academy of RB Leipzig in Germany. Now Caelan Vickers. Kavanagh. Touch took Akil Higgins into space, plucked it out the sky nicely there. Higgins. Richards. Hurd growing into this game, but running into Jamie Mullins there. Was a standout Fenton Hurd in the FA Cup fixture early on the season for the senior side against Aldershot. A host of academy players making their debut that day, but was really Fenton Hurd with his line-breaking runs that stole the show. Natural number 10. Whitwell. Malcolm, good strength. Chipped backward by Whitwell again. Here's Hurd. Wriggles his way free from Seagull pressure. Pleading for options ahead of him. Finds one in the form of Sewell. Matthew Richards again. Spent the first half of the season on loan with Stourbridge Town of non-league football. Reece Hall. Nicely down the line to Alex Williams. Back to Hall, the skipper. Williams hesitates over the cross. Given away by Hurd. Lovely touch around the corner. And away go the Albion on the left-hand side with Louis Flower, looking to break quickly. Flower into space. Now Doyle. Back to the feet of Louis Flower, and Flower agonisingly past the post. Constructed beautifully from back to front. Louis Flower exchanging passes with Kamari Doyle. And when it found its way back to Flower, he couldn't pick out the bottom right from the left-hand side of the penalty area. Well, the roles have reversed as this game has wore on. It's the Seagulls looking to hit West Brom on the counter-attack as we tick towards half-time. They very almost were successful there. Hall bending it out to Nelson. Malcolm again. Fenton Hurd. Hall wants a free kick and will get one. Willing his side forward there, the right-sided centre-back. A long, long way from home, but shifted past the challenge and was about to pull the trigger when he was brought down. An ideal position this for a left footer. There's three navy blue shirts throwing their name in the hat. Fenton Hurd, Akil Higgins and Jovan Malcolm all lurking with intent. The Seagulls' wall will be marched backwards. There's 5 in it. Hard to imagine this will be anything but a shot from this sort of range. Malcolm with a straight run up, Higgins to the right of the ball and Hurd to the left. Right arm in the air from Higgins, laid back to Malcolm. It was powered into the wall. And behind for another West Brom corner kick, their 7th of this first half. Fenton Hurd, this time from the right. Matt Richards, unmarked 20 yards from goal. Driven towards the back post again by Fenton Hurd. Good strong hand from Stephen Hall, plucks it out the sky. Looks unfazed in this Seagulls debut, the Australian. Did give away the penalty for the initial Baggies equaliser, but was caught in a compromising position there. And already really committed when Sewell rounded him. Whitwell. One back by Jamie Mullins. Tenacious from Mullins again. And Doyle looking down the line to Smith. Whitwell recovered. Slid away by Rory McConville. Nelson to take the throw. Higgins. Throwing goes the way of the Albion, Brighton and Hove Albion. Shannon Ruth, no doubt, delighted with this first half. Speaking ahead of this game and stated how disappointed he was, bitterly disappointed with that 1-1 draw away at Sunderland, and Louis Flower has been penalised for some pushing and shoving with Matthew Richards. Referee Aji Ajabola wants a word with both of them. Hugely experienced referee Aji Ajabola, most in the National League South in the conference. Into Knight. Bouncing away. Should be a West Brom throw, and is. Into added time at the end of this first half. Hall. Now Higgins. Hurd caught in possession again. Nelson, not quite bounced right for Diago Nelson in this first half, having a tricky time, that left wing back position.
Come on, Rory, let's go! Let's go, please, come on, let's go! Bailey, drop!
Nodded forwards. Settled by Malcolm. Richards to Hall. Whitwell again, one of those driving runs through the middle from Harry Whitwell, and on his left foot it's beaten away on the follow-up with Sewell, and it's into the advertising hoardings behind the goal. He's done that so often this evening, Whitwell, in this first half. Fortuitous in the way it bounced back to him. Brilliant block by Joe Knight in the end. And the follow-up from Sewell was wide of the mark. Another diagonal, bounces away from Nelson.
See it out! See it out! Let's go, Rory, please! Let's go!
McConville being urged on by the man in the middle, Aji Ajabola, and that will do it for the first 45 minutes at Lancing. Brighton and Hove Albion took the lead through Louis Flower, were pegged back by the penalty of Joe Van Malcolm, but Jamie Mullins' strike underneath Bradley Foster means half-time at the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Brom 1.
pads, they're going inside. Oh, fuck. Do we have to go?
Okay, let's have a natural drift with it, get contact, get an action where you put it in front of someone there to work onto it, and then just come back in. When I say let's play, then we put a finish onto it and we work around each other. Yes. Yes, Ben. Out wide, drift with us, Marcus. Get down. There's Marcus. Get down, get touches, 2 touch. Tap play, get everyone involved. Good. Bring it out. Good. Go Ben, give an angle. Good. Yes. Good.
Welcome back to second half coverage of Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Bromwich Albion on My Albion TV. Seagulls with a 2-1 advantage at the break then, courtesy of Louis Flower and Jamie Mullins, cancelling out Jovan Malcolm's 22nd minute penalty. It was an incredibly tight and well contested first half. Seagulls starting that half with complete domination of possession. West Brom getting themselves back into it. And Brighton and Hove Albion regaining the lead through Jamie Mullins' clever finish at the near post. It will be the Baggies to get this second half underway. And they are the side chasing the lead. They are the side more in need of the points. I mentioned ahead of kickoff the new format. The Premier League 2 will turn into a 16-team single elimination knockout tournament after every team has played 20 games. West Brom currently in 19th. They need to rise 3 places to be part of that end of season tournament. Albion sat comfortably in 8th, and it will be Akil Higgins to get this second half underway. Doesn't look like there's been a change for either side. What does this second half have in store for us? Naji Ajibola checks his watch. And Akil Higgins rolls it back into midfield. We are back underway in Lancet. Slip from Hall. Slater hurled down the line. Harper Bailey straight up in the air. Here is his Aaron Harper Bailey. Had a 1-month loan with Phil Brown's Kidderminster Harriers. Both sides making heavy use of the loan market to get their players valuable experience. West Brom, it tends to be short-term. For Brighton and Hove Albion, there's a whole host of players that would be starting tonight, no doubt, that are out on loan longer term in the EFL. Has provided precious opportunity for players that would normally be with the under-18s. Slater. Hurd. Higgins wide to the left. Nelson back to Malcolm. Matthew Richards. It's Whitwell again. Shifting away from pressure, turning into tight space. Strong challenge from Bailey Smith.
No, play tempo, switch the play quicker, and get out.
Diago Nelson. Knight with a crucial toe in. Malcolm. Alex Williams. West Brom come out of that break on the front foot. Reece Hall. Alex Williams again. Fenton Hurd into Whitwell. It all got too tight and too cute from West Brom there. Perhaps should have pulled the trigger on a cross earlier. Kamari Doyle joined the Albion deadline day of the January transfer window from South Coast neighbours Southampton, a very esteemed academy of their own over in Hampshire. Kamari Doyle, a youngster that made his senior debut in the Premier League for Southampton against Brighton and Hove Albion at the Amex at the end of last term, now in a blue and white shirt. Bailey Smith surging onto that one on the right. Nelson's towed it out of play. Haven't really been able to see Bailey Smith fly up that right flank so far, been tracked relatively comfortably by Diago Nelson. It is a weapon of his. As a youngster, Bailey Smith was the 2019 200-metre champion in the UK for his age group. Joe Knight. Kavanagh. Lovely spin from the centre-back. It's laid off and struck goalward. Tipped round the post by Foster. Louis Flower ran onto it. Kavanagh did brilliantly, and Flower, running away from goal, bent it towards the top corner. Well, no thanks from Caelan Vickers. He felt he was in a better position to strike that himself. It was Flower that re-diverted his run to try and angle it towards the top corner. Foster saved. Albion corner. In from Doyle towards the back post, just over Kavanagh. Couldn't head it back to where it came from. What a save that was, though, from Bradley Foster moments ago. And what a turn from Lee Kavanagh, the centre-back, playing as a makeshift forward there. Weaving his way into the penalty area and squaring it to Flower, who perhaps would have been better off leaving that for Caelan Vickers. Joe Knight has remained, despite the 15-minute break, an utterly compelling PL2 game here at Lancing, and Williams has found Malcolm again. Malcolm from the angle, blazed behind the goal. West Brom flooding forward at pace. Williams to Malcolm. Noel Atom did just enough to close the angle. It's Rory McConville. Hole. Whipped through the middle of the park. Lovely strength from Louis Flower again. Brighton and Hove Albion breaking forward in number. Here's Bailey Smith. And Smith will do enough to win the corner kick. Kamari Doyle offering short. Last corner kick for the Seagulls went just over the heads of Lee Kavanagh. Will they find their man this time? Will it be Doyle or Knight to deliver for the Seagulls? This time it's Knight into the mixer. McConville was arriving. Flower, one to forget there for Louis Flower. I'll have a chuckle about it now. Seagulls with the lead. Mentioned West Brom being in good form ahead of this game, looking for a third game in a row without defeat after draws against Southampton and a shock victory against Arsenal, one of the most feared academies in the PL2. Went to Arsenal and won 3-2, or won 3-0 rather. Brighton and Hove Albion winless in 3 in all competitions coming into this one. At the moment, on course to get back on track. Flower. Another good run from Louis Flower. Harper Bailey. Can't prevent the throw, will prevent the corner. In the eyes of the referee, it has been given as a corner kick. Ball adjudged to have already gone out of play. A few confused in the West Brom dugout, I have to say. Certainly looked like Harper Bailey had done enough there to force the Seagulls into contending for a throw. We'll have another chance to deliver from the left. Seagulls shirts gathering at the back of that West Bromwich Albion penalty area. Foster setting himself in the Baggies' goal. Kamari Doyle this time. Towards McConville, almost runs for Noel Atom. Shouts for handball, and a free kick has gone the way of West Brom. There weren't too many appeals. Here's the shouts for handball, and it did look like it struck a careless arm there, up in the air. Perhaps the Baggies getting away with one. Fortunate to win a free kick as well. Knight, crunching challenge. Williams. Higgins brushing off a challenge. A slip at a crucial moment from Nelson. Back to his feet sharply. Knight again, covered so much ground, but lost out to Fenton Hurd. Malcolm won't open up for Jovan Malcolm. It might here though for Reese Hall, and always leaning backwards. Taking a few trips inside the final third, the centre-back for West Brom. Certainly was space to shoot there for Reese Hall, opened up nicely for him. Leathered it over the top of the crossbar. A centre-back's finish. Stephen Hall with the goal kick. It's Joe Knight. Now Jamie Mullins. Haven't said his name yet in this second half. A key figure in the first. Mullins again. Looking for Louis Flower. It's well weighted again. Bradley Foster's come and not got there convincingly. Jacob Slater. At the feet of Caelan Vickers. West Brom seem to have recovered their shape for now. Kavanagh, Mullins, Doyle. It's neat and tidy from the Seagulls. And Higgins is fouled. And a frustrated Jamie Mullins will go into the book. First Seagulls player in the book today. Fenton Hurd. Matthew Richards bends one into the channel. Jovan Brown. Kavanagh adjudged to have taken too much of the ankle of Jovan Brown there. Irishman certainly thought he'd won enough of the ball. It is a wide open second half, utterly compelling. A far cry from the opening 15 minutes of this game. Nelson, good looking delivery, met by Kavanagh. Harry Whitwell. Thrown back to halfway. Richards to Harper Bailey. One of those players that had to go the long way around to forge out a professional football career. Signed from non-league Rushall Olympic. Space for Williams to cross, flashed along the 6-yard box and runs all the way through to the left wing back Nelson. Alarm bells starting to sound for the Seagulls. Higgins, another brilliant block by Joe Knight. Higgins again. Malcolm's cross, battered away. Atom with a second header. And Mullins says anywhere will do. Fantastic touch from Flower. That's superb forward play by Louis Flower. With the Seagulls under pressure, brings it down and keeps possession to Bailey Smith. Reese Hall. Now Kamari Doyle. Noel Latham, former Germany under-17 international. And Caelan Vickers has just had his heels clipped there by Reece Hall. He was breaking away. Approaching the hour mark still. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Bromwich Albion 1 at Lansing. Jacob Slater. Stephen Hall curled away from the pressure of Sewell. Atom thundered that one across the park, looking for Bailey Smith. Dinked delivery from Malcolm. For all the Albion's fantastic work this evening, haven't really been able to get Caelan Vickers or Bailey Smith too involved in wide areas. Most of what the Seagulls have done well has gone through that man, Jamie Mullins, in the middle of the park, and that was a careless challenge by Whitwell, and one that won't escape punishment. Was late there on the fleet-footed Jamie Mullins. Came right through the Irishman. West Brom are going to make a substitution. Mullins took it right away from Whitwell. Didn't make a whole load of contact there, but lunged in rather carelessly, and Whitwell goes into the book. Sub coming up. It will be a forward coming on, a natural forward in Ollie Bostock, former captain of Wales under-17s. I believe it was Akil Higgins that has departed. Bostock on, Higgins off. Some more fresh legs in that forward line for West Brom. Bostock stepping up this season, well ahead of his age group. Was just 16 when the season began, and comes on for Higgins, who couldn't quite find his feet in this game. Concern here, though, for Jamie Mullins. Mentioned the Albion squad being as stretched as it's likely to be at 21 level. That is because of all the youngsters that have been sent out on loan for experience in senior football. There are 9 players in total that would likely have a chance to feature tonight, were they not plying their trades in the EFL and around Europe. The likes of James Beadle, Mark Leonard, Andy Moran, Carl Rushworth, Ed Turns at Crewe Alexandra, Amari Samuels at Fleetwood, Jensen Weir and Jack Hinchy, who went out in January to Shrewsbury. Mullins steps off the pitch momentarily. Kavanagh looking for Smith. Reece Hall kept in cleverly by Bradley Foster. Well, not so in the eyes of the assistant on that far side, Alex Matheson. Kamari Doyle to take. In swinger from Doyle. Near post delivery, Noel Latham closest to it. Bouncing away. Be a throwing for the Seagulls. Right down by the corner flag, left-hand side. Long way for Jacob Slater to run. Let's take this one. Mullins trying to pop it back to Slater. Deflected out of play. West Brom throw. Brody Pert at the bottom of your picture, out when warming up for the Seagulls. Noel Latham. Volleyed in field. Missed by Doyle. He's done that very well today, Joe Knight. Winning the ball back, feeding off scraps, those loose balls in the centre circle, and just keeping possession ticking over for Brighton and Hove Albion. Not the glossiest performance, but done his job well. As is Louis Flower, who forces another throw. Here's Knight again. Doyle. McConville. Now Bailey Smith looking for that byline. Nelson tracked him well. Corner kick, Brighton and Hove Albion. They've had plenty of them in this second half. Much to the frustration of the Baggies, who felt that should have gone their way. Most of the set pieces in from wide areas have had a real quality about them. The only thing lacking has been the finish. Kavanagh got close to one, Noel Latham to the last. Knight this time, in towards Noel Latham again. Bostock away. Rolled up the line, lovely touch away from pressure by Saul, who was rather crudely brought down on halfway. Really deft touch, scooping it forward. And Lee Kavanagh's into the book. Just chipped it over the leg of Kavanagh. And Saul winning a free kick in a good area. Kavanagh into the book. Second Albion player behind Jamie Mullins. Time ticking away from West Brom. Still just under 25 minutes for them to try and find a way back into this one. Maybe Nelson can be the source of it. Now Whitwell, faded in this second half. Reese Hall. Hurd, Bostock. Hurd once more. Shifting past challenges. Driven across the 6-yard box where Joe Knight brings it down. Vickers. Hole to Bostock. The wrong side of Joe Knight. It's backwards from Malcolm. Brighton and Hove Albion committing shirts back to the cause. Bailey Smith eventually gets a foot in. Concerted spell of West Brom pressure. Whitwell. Diago Nelson guided towards the penalty area. Given away cheaply by Fenton Hurd. Albion will try and counter. Here's Louis Flower. Slows things down. Waits for help to arrive in the form of Bailey Smith. Noel Latham. Kavanagh pondering his options. He's fired in behind by Caelan Vickers, cut out rather easily. Launched long by Bradley Foster. Smith can only volley out of play. It will be a West Brom throw. We are going to see a substitution for the Baggies. Narelle Phillips is going to come on. We're also going to see Brodie Pert and Luca Barrington for the Seagulls. Two players with vastly different backgrounds in the game. Brodie Pert from Basingstoke and Luca Barrington from the treble winners Manchester City, playing in the same side. Jamie Mullins will make way for the Seagulls. It has been a fine evening's work for Jamie Mullins, and so too will Bailey Smith. So Mullins off. Got a goal and an assist tonight, Jamie Mullins. He makes way alongside Bailey Smith. Brodie Pert and Luca Barrington replace those two. And we're going to see both Suleiman Mandi and Narelle Phillips. And it's Nelson and Whitwell that have made way. Double change for both sides. We know all about the qualities of Luca Barrington. Really hit the ground running after arriving from Manchester City. 3 goals, 3 assists in his first 3 Albion starts last season. 6 goals, 8 assists in total in the PL2 last campaign. And a standout for Shannon Ruth's side as they finished in the top 6. The Premier League 2 Division 1 as it was back then. Of course, a restructuring for this season. It's Jovan Brown. Lovely ball in behind, and Bostock could be away. Kavanagh trying to hold up Bostock. Conville covers. Hole. Williams. Vickers. Rolled into the path of Louis Flower. Vickers has continued his run just inside of Louis Flower. Brilliant challenge comes in, runs for Kamari Doyle from range and just misses the left upright of Bradley Foster's goal. Well worth a go from Kamari Doyle, really caught a hold of it. Couldn't pick out the bottom corner with a fierce low drive. That might have sealed it for the Seagulls with 20 minutes left to play, just under. Joe Knight. Chops back to Kavanagh. Just about kept in play by Jacob Slater. Bostock the substitute. Lovely run coming in behind, and Williams is away. Stephen Hall saves brilliantly. Kamari Doyle shrugging off challenges. What response do the Seagulls have to that Williams chance? Stephen Hall making himself big inside the penalty area. Williams got a long way clear of the Albion back line after the through ball in behind. Brodie Pert. Bostock. Jovan Malcolm. Curled goalward, headed away well by McConville. Matthew Richards. Fenton Hurd didn't want to shoot on that left foot, so instead we'll switch play. Williams looking for Bostock. Bradley Foster, signed from Derby County ahead of last season, switching academies to the Black Country. Joe Knight, down in some pain, big challenge from Noel Atom. Might have released Caelan Vickers. Luca Barrington, back to Caelan Vickers. Can he sort his feet out in the penalty area? Not this time. Head on hands from Caelan Vickers. Opened his Albion account last game and could have had a second Seagulls goal tonight. It all started with a big challenge from Noel Atom. Lovely 1-2 between Barrington and Vickers. It just never would sit for Caelan Vickers. In the end, it might have been a crucial touch from Narelle Phillips. Kamari Doyle. Magnificent strength from Doyle again. And not bad feet either. Does really still feel like anyone's game. Kamari Doyle shoved off the ball there, not spotted by Aji Ajibola. Joe Knight thought he'd won it back. There was a foul. Sewell brought down. West Brom coming off a positive campaign of their own in the old Premier League 2 Division 2, now disbanded, now merged with the Premier League 2 Division 1. They did finish 4th last season, just 5 points behind the champions Southampton. Lost just 1 game away from home. It was that away form that was their pillar. They do trail away from home now, and they've got to do something about it. Kevin Mufwamba coming on, Sewell going off. Another look at that fantastic Williams chance. In the end, it was all too close to Stephen Hall. Mufwamba on. Jovan Malcolm. Fired wide. Reece Hall chasing. Coolly done by Slater. Away by Atom. Straight to Mufwamba. Joe Knight has always been an option tonight. Kept the Seagulls moving nicely. Kavanagh to Atom. Now the ball into the channel. Louis Flower onto it. Eyes to the assistant. The flag stays down. Scoop to Slater. Slater into the middle. Here's Doyle. Barrington. Kamari Doyle. It's a goal kick. Sub this time on the Albion side. We're going to see a centre-back, Ben Jackson, come on for Lee Kavanagh, who has run his race this evening. On a yellow card, that might have played into Shannon Ruth's thinking. Lee Kavanagh is off and Ben Jackson is on. Another outstanding performance from Lee Kavanagh. Appearance number 10 in the Premier League 2 this season. And on comes Ben Jackson. Man signed from Watford back in July of 2020. Been a regular in the under-18s the last 2 seasons, has been stepping up to the PL2 side this season. Williams has given it away. Here is Ben Jackson. One of those players that made his under-21s debut with the horde of Albion youngsters sent to that Dubai warm weather training camp during the World Cup last season. Noel Latham under pressure. Reece Hall marched backwards. Matthew Richards. Fenton Hurd. Artfully done. Starting to find space now as the number 10. It's brilliant from Fenton Hurd. Luca Barrington. McConville, Barrington again.
Oh no, you're not just doing fucking offside. You're getting fouled.
Luca Barrington. Slater to Luca Barrington. Looking down the line for Caelan Vickers. He's got to the byline here, Vickers. Barrington waits in space. There could be a chance here for the former City man. It's blocked just in front of goal by Mfwamba. And the Seagulls have won a corner kick. We do apologise here on My Albion TV for any language you may have heard there in the build-up to that Albion chance. Frustration is boiling over to the West Bromwich dugout after they weren't given a free kick for a perceived shove by Joe Knight. And I think Aji Ajibola is going to want a word here with the dugout, and it's none too surprising. And it is Dion Burton, former Jamaican international, ex-Portsmouth striker that's going into the book, getting a yellow card. Part of the Reggae Boys Jamaica side. His language as colourful as Jamaica's kit there in that last couple of minutes. Seagulls take the corner kick. It's not a particularly good one, but Ben Jackson was close to it. Caelan Vickers. Here's Barrington. Vickers has continued his run up that left flank. Slater and Barrington for support. Kamari Doyle. What can he conjure from that central midfield position? Worked wide to McConville. Brodie Pert. So that emotional goodbye to Basingstoke after coming through the ranks with the Hampshire-based side was a huge step up. The whole town of Basingstoke really got involved with Brodie Pert's announcement when he signed for the Seagulls. So proud of the youngster. Kamari Doyle. Here is Brodie Pert. Barrington looking back for Pert. The two just not quite on the same wavelength. Doyle waiting in space. Barrington will instead start to turn up right. Straight out of play for a West Brom goal kick. Another substitution for the Seagulls. Marcus Eiffel is going to see some minutes at the end of this one. And it will be Louis Flower who's run his race. Flower opened the scoring this evening after a neat 1-2 with Jamie Mullins, and has worked tirelessly leading the line for the Seagulls. Not everything he's done tonight will show up on a stat sheet, but has held the ball up brilliantly, has battered that back three, and no surprise that he'll get a rest in these final few moments, allowing the speedy Marcus Eiffel to come on. Caelan Vickers in from Kamari Doyle towards the substitute Eiffel. Pert. Mfwamba. Harper Bailey to the goalkeeper Foster. Tight space for Bostock to try and operate in, and Noel Latham has tracked him every step of the way. Noel Latham following Bostock wherever he goes, and thought he'd want to throw for the Albion as well. 5 minutes to play in normal time. It is Brighton Hove Albion 2, West Bromwich Albion 1 at the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. Premier League 2 action on My Albion TV. There's 4 days in a row of Albion action. The men's senior side last night in the Europa League. The under-21s tonight, and the women tomorrow with a crucially important game against Manchester United in the FA Cup quarter-finals. Tickets still available for that on the Albion website. That game taking place at Broadfield Stadium in Crawley. Men back home again on Sunday against Nottingham Forest. Luca Barrington. Rory McConville spoke to My Albion TV recently about how inspired he was by Benico Baker-Botty and particularly Jack Hinshelwood, their first team involvement. He wants to see himself in that role soon. Here's Eiffel. Harper Bailey nodding it away from Marcus Eiffel. Slater, a second ball's rolled onto the pitch. It's not been spotted by Aji Ajibola yet. Kamari Doyle. Pert tonight. Albion still hunting for that insurance goal. Maybe Pert can create something here. Across goal it goes. Eiffel on the stretch, couldn't reach it. Noel Latham. Barrington. Eiffel. Marcus Eiffel, Barrington. You could see what he was going for there. The artful flick back to Eiffel. Slammed away. Slip from Jackson. Matt Richards all the way home to Bradley Foster. Already spent 2 trips on loan, one with National League North, Russian Olympic, one with Alvechurch. And Slater hassling and harrying Reese Hall. Toes it out of play for a West Brom throw. Following this, the Seagulls have a very tricky game against West Ham United, the side that sits second in this 26-team league. But on their way to 3 crucial points here tonight. Fenton Hurd looking to change that scoreline. Alex Williams had that golden chance earlier on in this half. Will it be one that West Brom live through?
Wait! Leave it, Alex! Leave it! Sully! Go win the header. Reese! Get around it. Let Sully go win it. Tell him what to do, Reese.
Kev.
Not too early. Stay there, Sully. Wait. Sully, wait.
Kevin!
West Brom planning something from this throwing position. It looks like Harper Bailey is going to lean back into those advertising hoardings and try and hurl this one into the penalty area. Ticking towards the 90th minute at the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. One chance maybe for West Brom to hurl this goalward. It's a long throw from Harper Bailey. It's met powerfully by the Seagulls. Lovely control by Malcolm. Doyle, another player that's quietly had an excellent evening for the Seagulls. Drop of the shoulder from Jackson. 1-2 with McConville. Brighton Hove Albion have broken the press. McConville in no hurry though. Knight. A rare misplaced pass from him. Reese Hall driving into Albion territory. On goes Reese Hall. And again, it's over the top from the centre-back. Not the first time we've seen one of those runs from Reese Hall, driving into opposition territory. And always rising again.
Silly, don't let him have it. Yay. Go big, Steve.
Hold forward. Eiffel turning on the afterburners. Eiffel, he's past Harper Bailey. He does just enough to track back, and it's rolled out of play for an Albion corner. Seagulls will take the set piece from the left into added time at the end of this one. Short to Doyle. Back to Barrington. Lovely ball by Knights and driven into the side netting. It was Caelan Vickers. Joe Knight threading the eye of the needle to pick out Caelan Vickers. No one in a West Brom shirt had spotted him. And skimmed the post on its way into the side netting. Joe Knight again. Bellowing voice of Gary Dicker, praising the Albion central midfielder there. Back heel from Vickers. Joe Van Malcolm. Good pressure from Vickers. It's a powerful run from Vickers. Advantage played. Eiffel in behind and now pulled back. Barrington making the point. If you're going to stop play, a strange time to do it. But it looks like the offside against Eiffel means the Albion will get a free kick. I think that's what Adji Ajibola was signalling. Yellow card the way of Aaron Harper Bailey. Just kept going there, Caelan Vickers. No one could bring him down. Eventually, it took a rather unceremonious lunge from Harper Bailey to halt the progress the former Reading man was making. The offside, the reason Adji Ajibola brought that back. 94th minute. Vickers. Pink boots of Luca Barrington. Now an Atom. McConville. Happy to go backwards to Doyle. Seagulls still, of course, with that crucial one-goal lead deep in added time. And they'll force West Brom to chase down Stephen Hall here. Vickers. More fantastic industry from Caelan Vickers. He's been brought down off the ball. I feel powering into the penalty area. Vickers again. Doyle. I feel Slater from the angle across the face of goal where Pert was waiting. Thoroughly professional Seagulls performance in this added time period. Unrelenting in their pressure and in their possession. Knight back to Atom. And if they are to see this one out, Shannon Ruth will be delighted in the manner in which they have done it. In the last 10 minutes, Brighton and Hove Albion have barely put a foot wrong. Real maturity about the closing stages of this game. Doyle wins a free kick. Barged into the back off by Mfwamba. Again, more intelligence, more nous shown from Kamari Doyle. Jacob Slater, and that will do it inside the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. Brighton and Hove Albion hold on and withstand West Brom pressure to win 2-1 on home soil. Full time here in Lancing, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Brom 1.